Welcome to this transmission and oracle reading that the theme I have been given and came up with is on the ordinary. So whenever I'm coming here and I'm transmitting light codes and I'm hearing from the archangels and the ascended masters and my team in spirit, that information can be very earth shaking. It can be sometimes it can provide a disturbance to the field because whatever the ego was shaped as before that, it gets a little bit shaken. It gets a little bit, hey, you sure? You sure about this? So, what I really want to help us do in this session is receive messages that are going to help us be grounded in our ordinary everyday life. And what a theme that I see happening with many light workers and healers is when you first start exercising your gifts after a long period of having those gifts shut down, it can get a little bit of like chasing the thrill of waiting for that next mystical experience and waiting for that next aha and waiting for that next shift. And what's really important that we do is be present in the everyday moments of life and be able to experience the richness and the depth of you just sitting alone in nature, having that moment of tranquility, having that moment of revelation, having that moment of love. This love that just transcends anything that you can explain. What I want to help us do is realize that as we're awakening, as we're ascending, we're going to have more of those very rich, present moments. But so too will come the moments where we're feeling stagnant and we're feeling kind of bored and we're feeling like, what's next? So what I want to kind of do is take those two forms of moment and have them both be able to be present. Because I've got Green Tara with me really strongly today and Mother Mary. Those are the two main divine feminine guides that are going to be with me in this session. Okay, so we're going to start out with an angel over here in the Archangel deck. We're going to do a few cards. I have the Sophia code with us. I feel like that's going to come into the equation somewhere. I also have my book, Space Library, Beings of Light, in the equation. And then the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Katie Louise. So there's a lot of energy coming in. What I'm going to do is set the intention now. This is a safe container. This is a container that is permeated by unconditional love and source flow. Anything that comes into the space that's distortionary, anything that comes into the space that's rooted in fear will be handled. And yes, this is just going to be a container for us to access our higher self-consciousness and be able to root that in our every moment, our ordinary lives. Archangel Zadkiel. So notice that in this session too, it's not just divine feminine, it's divine masculine. We're unifying in this session. We're going to do a lot of unification in this session. It's going to be a lot less identifying and a lot more unifying. It's time for transmutation. Carry the violet flame. So the violet flame is a really powerful energy to call in when you sense, ooh, a bunch is about to transmute. A bunch is about to alchemize in my life. Maybe you're discovering expressions of you that are now fully coming out and you can't stop them because they're who you are. But there's people around you that really are like, what's that? Call in the violet flame. Call in Saint Germain, calling Archangel Zadkiel, and realize that when you call in the violet flame, you're protected. You're protected. The violet flame is this penetrating energy that it doesn't matter how structured and formed the fear message or the fear mongering or the narrative is coming at you. If you have the violet flame, you put that, cover yourself in a ball of the violet flame, you'll be fine. You'll be all right. And you're going to learn to trust yourself. You're going to learn to what I'm getting right now from the spirit guides is that remember that these spirit guides, I did get this necklace from Luke. And I love it so much. Luke is such a good friend of mine. And I was like I was having a really hard time. And he sensed it. He's soul family. He is. Hello, Joshua. He sensed it and he was so kind and so supportive. And it was at a time in my life where I didn't really have that in my life. And so this is a good reminder of earth angels. Let's always remember that these angels, these soul family, they're here too on the planet. They're not all up there in the etheric. There are some of them here in bodies on the planet right now, sitting in that same moment that you maybe have had, feeling like you're all alone here. And it feels that Spirit is just guiding me to nudge us to remember that. Remember that there are, what they're showing me is billions. They're showing me billions of people are awakening right now. Yep, they used to say millions, now they're saying billions. That's interesting. I'm just taking a moment to kind of recognize that. So what my guides are showing me now is that awakening is something that used to be very fringe. It wasn't ordinary. And now awakening is going to be something that's very ordinary. It's what they're showing me is it's the new status quo. It's the new energetic of the collective of humanity on planet Earth is awakening, ascending. And they're showing me it's not going to be really possible anymore. Yes, I'm verifying in my consciousness and they're verifying back. They're sharing it's not going to be possible anymore for us to stay asleep or to go back to sleep after we've awoken. It's just not going to be possible. Especially with these collective timeline shifts that we've moved through, they're just showing me the energetics won't hold it. They won't hold this unconscious patterning and this, they're showing me that the old 3D paradigm, it was very normal. It's partially because of the shift, but they're sharing it's also partially because of our soul contracts. That we all, before we came to the planet, we had an agreement with planet Earth to shift with her. And they're showing me that was kind of a, let me see. They're showing me a lot. So let me just break it all down, okay? Well, they're showing me that before 2012, you definitely had to have an agreement that you were going to assist in the shift. But after 2012, they're showing me that for souls to come to the planet after 2012, that had to have been like top tier, like a really important part of your, I'm going to call it inclination to come to planet Earth. It had to be kind of, they're showing me like lists, and they're showing me before 2012, you had to have it on your list that you were going to shift in consciousness, that you were going to be part of this evolution in consciousness. But after 2012, it was like, no, it has to be one of your top 3 things that you're coming into the planet for, which is really interesting because my guides often talk about after 2012, these star seeds coming in, which I have 2 of them as children. But from what I understand, the collective shifts into 5D and we leave the 3D where they are. No. So, Raven, those showing me a few things. Well, remember, it's always choice. So if someone is going to choose to stay in a 3D state of consciousness, that's their choice. They have that ability. That's possible. But what they're showing me is now that we're... Okay, so they're showing me the Schumann resonance, the 7.83 hertz. They're showing me that's going to be like much higher. I mean, we're seeing that scientifically. But so they're showing me that for someone to want to stay in 3D consciousness, which is basically, we're just going to use 3D and 5D. 3D is a state of consciousness that's rooted in fear and separation. 5D is a state of consciousness that's rooted in unity and inclusion. So you can kind of see the difference here. So the 3D was me against you, red versus blue, this country against that country, dividing couples, dividing neighbors, every man for themselves. Very Darwin, very certain type of way. This new way is much more palatable to the soul, to the being, to the body. So what they're showing me is anyone that wants to stay in that fear, it's just going to get heavier and heavier. It's going to be harder and harder. So Raven, what you said about that some of us will move into 5D and some of us will move into, or stay in 3D, we can say that that's a truth, but because of what I talked about with the contracts when we come to planet Earth, because we've had to have this, but they don't, thank you, Raven, unconscious. So those people that we're labeling as in fear and in 3D and in ba 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 ba, a lot of that has to do with unconsciousness. They unawareness. Things that are covered in a cloak of illusion. So because we're all shifting together as a collective, because we've all come to the planet, no matter when you came, one of the reasons you came was because you wanted to be part of this shift in consciousness. So your higher self is always going to override that ego. So it doesn't matter how much the ego like really wants to, but I love this jealousy and fear and drama and but I'm really glued to it. It doesn't really, the ego will eventually need to shift, need to soften, need to ascend because the higher self is in charge. Always. Even when we don't know it. And usually, they're showing me usually when we're confused, feeling lost, feeling directionless, it's just because the voice of our higher self is something that we're currently denying. We're hearing it, but we're denying it. But when it comes to those people in your life that you feel are 3D or feel are in fear, it is from a state of unconsciousness. So most of the time and it feels like they want to soften for a lot of you. Let me get a card here. They want to soften for a lot of you, that the people in your life that you feel are pushing back on you about your ascension, about your awakening, about your gifts, about your authentic soul embodiment. We need to have compassion for them because it's coming from a state of unconsciousness. Most of the time, I would say, they're very unaware of how they're affecting you. They're very unaware of the fact that they are operating from fear. And if you try to show that to them and say that to them when they're all up in that energetic, you're not going to get anywhere. We fear what we don't understand. So just let's be softer around the people we're saying are 3D, because they're our brothers and sisters. They're one with us. They're just as from source as we are. We're all fractals of source. We'll become one again. We're one while we're here. We just forgot. We just entered into a reality where separation and duality and, this versus that is a thing. But it's an illusionary thing. I have Mahavatar Babaji in my consciousness and Lao Tzu doing their whole beard thing. Hello, Jor. So if it's a lonely road for you, get ready because your soul family is coming to find you. Whether you like it or not. I'm not trying to segregate, merely have a way to mark the difference. Right, so this comes down to judgment and discernment. I had this question early on, like, well, how am I supposed to discern if I'm not judging? But discernment is simply navigating our life through vibrational frequency. So the people in our life that we're like feeling the fear and we're feeling the hatred and we're feeling the whatever it is that like is being emanated towards us, we can discern, all right, that is an aspect of this equation that I no longer resonate with. I'm going to choose not to judge it and accept what is. I'm also going to choose for myself the energies I want to have around me, the energies I'm going to choose to engage with. So you can have people in your life that are in fear that want to pull you into the fear, but it's a choice for you to get pulled into the fear. So you can give that internal, no, I'm not open to absorbing your fear, without having to engage in some type of argument. Because they're showing me the ping pong game. I talk about the ping pong game so much here, so I'll re-explain it. The ping pong game is when our ego has like a belief. Just go with me. I'm going to channel it through. So the ping pong game is when our ego shaping has these like firm beliefs, right? And then someone else comes into the equation and their ego shaping belief pattern, okay, has something really strong in theirs. And one of the beliefs in there and one of the beliefs that's in our ego situation do not meet. They can't see each other. They're opposites. They do not meet. And so what do we sometimes do is we choose to get in this ping pong match. No, it's Democrats. No, it's Republicans. No, it's this country. No, it's that country. No, it's the Lyrans. No, it's the Draconians. No, it's the Pleiadians. And it becomes this ping pong game where you're not getting absolutely anywhere. You're not getting anywhere. You're sitting there having an argument between two created beliefs that don't meet. So the next time that you have a ping pong match, chasing our tail, thank you, Trevor, It just doesn't go anywhere. So what Spirit wants us to do is just sense when those ping pong matches are arising and just choose. Just put your paddle down. Not today. Not today. You know, will your ego be active another day in the future and maybe you will get in the ping pong match? Maybe, but when we have a lot of consciousness and a lot of awareness and we're present, we can choose. We can be the choosers of, am I going to engage in this or not? I feel like I haven't had a ping pong combo in a long time. Joshua, that's amazing. I feel the same. And it feels good, doesn't it? Do you feel like you've missed out on anything? Do you feel like, oh, darn, I wish I would have played those 10 ping pong games of argument and disempowerment? It's liberating. Thank you. Okay. A card is not coming out here. They want us to play the game. Okay. Whenever I sense Lao Tzu in my consciousness, I know we're gonna like be kind of, it's gonna be some dry humor going. Some dry humor is gonna come into the mix. Okay. So the game, I'm gonna hold up this deck of cards that I have in my hands, and don't say anything yet, but you're gonna give me numbers 0 through 9, whatever comes into your consciousness, and we're gonna do like a little branch off mini read, so that you can get what's specific to you, but they're showing me too, remember that all the other numbers, you're going to get something from it. It's like your brothers and sisters, and I don't know, they're using brothers and sisters a lot in this transmission. Yep. Okay, so here we go. So number 0, no, not 0, because I can't, I mean, if you want to say 0, that's fine. 0s and 1, binary. But 1 through 9, just whatever comes up, we're just going to do little minis to really land this bird. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave 3 more seconds for, got some soul family coming together, cool. So 3, 2, 1, and wow, we have the representation of 3, 6, 9 in this one. Okay. Tesla's in the mix. We've also got the Christed family in the mix. Okay. And I'll just plant this little fun. It's definitely not for my ego. It's for my higher self, which is fun. My higher self is definitely a matchmaker. But what I would like to share is that if you come to these spaces and you can sense very clearly, I'm meeting soul family here, please make connections. I'm holding a very loving, unified template. So when you meet here, might lead to something really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to sit with the numbers again. Those of you that are familiar with this know what I'm doing, but basically I'm sitting with the numbers and my guides, and then they're going to come up with some stuff. My coffee's separating. I gotta spin it around a little bit. I have some coffee, cacao, bulletproof style. I have a video on my page here that my son filmed so well. He held the camera so steady. It was actually really fun to film. We couldn't really keep straight faces, but I don't know why I bring this up. Okay. 6 is the predominator here. Six is the predominator, which I'm going to read first, and then 9 is the, so I don't know which of you are into geometry, but they're having me circle the 6s and then put triangles around the 9s. Okay. They're going to have me show all the numbers that were read, but we're only going to read 6, 9, and 3. There was only one 3. So whoever you are, thank you for rounding out our 369 today. Okay. Okay. So whoever said 1, you got the mystic rose, compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, grace. Number 1. No one said 2. A message in the message. 3, we're going to read. Was there any 4s? 1 4. There was 1 4 card, and you got the release the petals. There was 1 5. These are all coming in reverse too. Plant yourself here, integration, embodiment, grounded action. Ground yourself. 6, we're going to read. 7, whoever it said 7, you got the child within. So it's some inner child healing going on. Inner mother, innocence, gentleness, tenderness. 8, we get this one a lot. Trust the seasons. Multidimensional consciousness. And trusting seasons is really important. And then 9. Okay, so we're going to start with the 6 card. Then we're going to do the 9, then the 3. I don't know why. And I really like 639 hertz right now in my life, and we had 36 people in the group. Ha! Spirit being all spirity. Okay, so 6, which is our overarching message, healing the mother line. I've channeled this in many different ways before, but what is coming up now is that if you feel I'm going to channel this in. It's coming in pretty strong. So if you feel that you cannot connect with Earth herself, if you feel in some way like you don't belong on Earth, you feel like you just can't figure it out here, and you're almost gravitating towards the starseed stuff more because you want to escape Earth. They're showing me that this has a lot to do with healing your mother line. So they want you to check and just scan very gently and lovingly. I'm holding you in this love too. So is the group. Just to see what kind of healing might be required when it comes to your mother line. Now, this may not necessarily have to do with your mother, but it could have to do with feminine energies, which could have been in male bodies or in some other format or family member. But whatever feminine energy was shaping you in your first 7 years of life, they'd like you to do some healing in that area. Because once that healing is done, you're going to feel more at ease on planet Earth. They're also showing me that if this doesn't resonate, but you pulled the 6 card, I didn't ever ask you guys, so I'm going to ask now, but if I have your permission to scan your energetic fields and transmit light codes from your spirit team for the highest and best good of all, you can say yes at any time in the transmission. But what I'm getting about this point in the transmission is that what they're showing me is they're showing me the time in the womb. So they're showing me that if you're still working on feeling comfortable on planet Earth and you can't find it, and you've been doing self-work, you've been doing therapy, you've been meditating, you've been doing hypnosis, you go on retreats, you've been like at this for 20 years, I don't know, like you've been at it for a while and you still can't figure it out. They're showing me the missing piece, or the thing that you're not clicking together, is that this has to do with the time that you were in the womb. So basically, whatever body was holding you, whatever their psyche was experiencing, you were experiencing. So, and then they're showing me too, like some of you may not have access to communicate and find out about what that was. And they're sharing you actually don't need a person to talk to and have dialogue about this. You can do your own meditation. In other words, you can find something on YouTube if you want. This is probably a good inspiration for me to do one of these womb healings, which I will hopefully record at some point in the next week. But basically, you want to visit that time energetically to smooth it out and to send love to yourself and maybe your mother. But they're showing me that's like the buried part that you haven't been able to reveal. My mom rode roller coasters when she was 8 months pregnant with me. Well, all right, Trevor. How do you feel about roller coasters? I'm curious. How do you feel about them? Because what they're showing me is, okay. They're showing me it could have had many effects on you. It's more so what they're showing me about this in particular, and this is kind of deep and kind of, I don't know why I'm sharing it, but we have to do what this spirit is presenting. So what they're showing me is like whatever was experienced, this isn't as joy. So when you were in your mother's room, when your mom was experiencing intense joy and bliss and the wonder of life, you felt that too, and that affects you in a positive way. So remember that it's not all about digging to the negative experiences. Some of this is going to help you uncover untapped wonder and joy in your own life by doing these types of things. Okay, oh no. I don't remember which card was what. Okay, that was 6. 9's over there. 3's over there. Okay, now we're going to do 9. And then we're going to do 3. So, just 1 day worth or habitually for the womb stuff. They're showing me it could take a few times, but you definitely want to space it out. I hope that I'm answering the question right because I might be off here. No, the roller coasters. Oh, I see what you're saying. Wow, no, okay. So yeah, then we're really talking about like unconscious stuff that you didn't even have the ability to visit, and now you're visiting it. Wow. So the bud, yes. I also feel your spirit team here very much, Noelle. Potential, promise, it's about to happen, and keep going. So what I'm seeing was Magic Mountain in Southern Cali. Cool. Okay. So what spirit is presenting to me right now with, I'm seeing DNA like in my actual eyes all over my house. What Spirit's presenting is that a lot of us came here to assist those that came before us. We knew we were going to come and help those that came before us. And we knew as souls that we were going to have pushback and that it wasn't going to be an easy road. But they're just showing me any adverse connections we have with those that raised us we're really, really welcome to hold space and compassion and acceptance, no matter what. No matter what. No matter how dark or fearful or bad we're labeling it. Because we're all connected. And we chose these things in many ways. So Mandy, whatever we're wanting to run from, when we're feeling safe in the body, it's worth our time to just sit and kind of discover why. What if I didn't run from it? I'm not asking you to run towards it, but can you sit with it and acknowledge that you have everything you need within you? You have everything you need within you. Spirit is not separate from you. And spirit is not separate from those we're running from. Those we're running from may have forgotten their connection to spirit, yes. But it can be remembered. We're going deep here today. All right. Okay, so number 3. The bloom. I see where they're going. Let's see what you're doing up there, guys. Okay. Creations realize, right time, harvest, and celebrate. So we had 1 3 in the group. We've got one of us that's blooming. I'm joking around, of course. We're all blooming. So right time and harvest. The soil, the bud, the bloom. And also they're showing me too, like over that too, is the caterpillar, the chrysalis, the butterfly. Although that's in a slightly different order. But okay, so this doesn't just apply to you if you said 3. It applies to you if this resonates with you, basically. They're showing me that a lot of you have been building up, planting the seeds. You've been cultivating the garden of you. There's been a lot of that soil work going on, getting that soil healthy again, getting everything fertilized, and they're showing me like good bacteria. I don't know why, but they're showing me like everything's been really enriched and healthy, and it's in bloom. And it's time to harvest. It's the right time. But for some reason you're going, I should wait a little longer. Yeah, they're showing me like a segment of you. So whoever this applies to, and it probably will apply to all of you in some way. But they're showing me if you feel like the bloom is ready to be harvested, but you have a part of you that's not trusting. So you're like, I don't trust myself to harvest this. I don't trust myself. What if I harvest it and it's too soon and I should have waited? What if I harvest it and then I don't take care of the flowers in the right water environment and the right vase, and then they just wither up, and I've worked all this for so long? But they're showing me it's time to trust yourself. It's time to really trust yourself and stop second guessing yourself, and stop feeling the need to ask others if it's time. If you know it's time, it's time. If it feels aligned, it's time. If your heart is giving you a yes, it's time. So it's time to just stop second guessing yourself and just reprogram yourself to trust yourself again. And then for those of you here, do you resonate with that you're working on self-trust? Just kind of want to see who we're talking to here. Who here is working on self-trust? Anyone feel like you're working on self-trust? Okay. 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 Multidimensional grounding. Cool. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. So, okay. Scared of yourself than the other person. Okay. Okay. So, what Spirit's presenting is who told you not to trust yourself? Because what they're showing me is it's outside the field. So they're gonna ask they're gonna ask a lot of questions. Here we go. So just answer them within yourself. Some of you have been here for these types of things. I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth right now, so we're just gonna have to see. So the questions that are being presented are when it comes to this self-trust, what are you fearing more? Are you fearing that you're going to let yourself down, or are you fearing that you're going to let others down? Answer that question for yourself. If you answered that it's others, you're only fearing that you're going to let others down, you're not concerned about letting yourself down, those same others that are coming up are likely projecting a lack of trust onto you. So we're not going to be mad at them. We're not going to kick them out of our lives. We're going to say, okay, aha. It's no longer unconscious. There's some consciousness brought to it. Some awareness. The Mod Rather. That's one thing that the guides will do so often in session when someone comes to me and they say, I don't trust myself, I don't love myself. Often the first thing that comes out of my mouth without even me trying is, who told you that? Who told you that? Some of you are walking around with all this insecurity and self-doubt. Well, who told you that? Because I'm telling you right now, the soul does not come in with doubt. The soul doesn't come in with a lack of trust. That is a programming situation. That is a pattern that has been built within your psyche, here, on planet Earth. You don't come pre-programmed with no trust for yourself or no love for yourself. Bree is in the spectrum, but so are the guides. Okay. So if it's self-trust, what they want us to do is they're asking you to pick your medicine of choice, but the way to start trusting yourself again is we need to have that questioning. We need to ask why. We need to ask the why until we are wide out. Because we need to get to why it started. Where did it start to pattern? Because if we only go at the recent part of the patterning, we're not going to really get to it. We have to go to where did this pattern really start to take root? Was it in my childhood? Was it in my teenage years? Was it in my adult years? Was it this year? Was it... we need to discover that for ourselves, because once we can put a flashlight, they're showing me like a flashlight, once you can shine a flashlight on that instance, on that creation point, when things started to say, don't trust yourself, basically. When we can get back to the root of it as far back as we can, our energetic system allows that unraveling and that to detangle. So it may not be a fun period when you're doing that kind of work, but what comes after will be very fun, because it'll be more you. I've been isolating myself because I feel it's safer for the world around me. Okay. Trevor, what I would ask is, why do you think that? Why do you think that? So unconscious to conscious. A lot of what we're doing is just making it conscious. Instead of leaving it in the subconscious where it's like unattended to and it's just driving us and doing all the driving of us. So here's our subconscious, like pretty much telling us everything to do and who to be and blah, 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 blah. And we're just like doing it. Here in the conscious, we're like, here we are just doing the things that are coming from the blah, 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 subconscious. So that's why the work I'm doing with people is we're getting into that subconscious because it's not coming from what's happening out here. It's coming from what's happening in the subconscious. So if we don't get back to that unconscious, that subconscious, what's going on back there, what's driving me, we're never going to know, and we're going to think it's all out here. And we're going to think it's just this partner and this person and this job and this blah, 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 blah. Because we're not getting to what's actually going on within us. Okay, so I'm going to get back to a collective level. Let me get back to a collective Akashic level. Thank you. Okay. I see. So right now I'm in the Akashic records and I'm just scanning the room. Did we do 8 yet? Yes. I'm getting that fear isn't from source and therefore it can't be used as an excuse to not listen. Beautiful, yes. They're correcting me a little bit. So they're just sharing that remember everything is from source. I know it's kind of like, but they're showing me that a lot of us think that there's like this bad, I'm going to just go down to this thing. We think there's like God and then there's just like bad one. And the bad one's feeding all the fear, and God's the one that's feeding all the love. And they're sharing me like source is all. Source is all. So underneath all that fear behavior and that fear programming stuff is still source. Thank you, the Mod Father. I was like not really sure why we were being corrected either, but it did make sense when it came in. What they're showing me about this part of the transmission is that we really need to stop thinking that there's this being outside of us creating all the fear and trying to get at us. That's a very misunderstood understanding of the psyche and what this earth plane really is. I'm not going to go further down this thing, but yes, it needed to be said. You're always right on time, Melinda. And this will be uploaded in the Energy Healing membership, potentially on my YouTube too. I'm really not here to gatekeep anything in any way, shape, or form. I just am also a human, and I'm going to not be able to stay under this roof if I don't figure out how to make sure I can pay for it. And I'm coming off like the tail end of doing service work for almost like no money for almost like 2 straight years. But honestly, I don't regret it because I was doing exactly what I was meant to be doing. I'm excited to do the work I do now, okay? But it's something that I resisted. I resisted this natural and authentic embodiment of me for a very long period of my life. I resisted it. I said no. I said that no, that's too scary. No. But it's the most liberating fulfilling energetic that I've allowed to embody, to just serve, to show up. I don't always know how it's going to go. I have no idea what's going to come through my mouth. I have no idea what's going to come up in a session when I do one-to-ones. I have no idea what's going to channel through me when I do a trance channeling. It's taken a lot of surrender. Right, and I don't regret any of the practice and building and fertile soil cultivation that I've had to do at all. I'm not going to say my life is easy and that it's a cakewalk, because that is a lie. I will never show up and say I'm perfect, I have everything figured out. No. I chose to go into healing because it is part of my soul mission and it is part of what I'm here for. But I will never show up and tell you all that I've got it all figured out. Absolutely not. I'm here on the path with you. Archangel Jules, align with the highest and go with the flow. So I'm sensing a lot of questions around this card. Does anyone have questions of Archangel Jules about aligning with your highest and going with the flow? Because I want to make sure that whatever I'm going to transmit is going to land for all of you, because I'm definitely in the Akashic Records right now. Any questions about aligning with your highest and going with the flow? This is funny. They want us to ask, where are we resisting going with the flow? Just scan that for yourself in this Akashic field. Oh, I'm not really going with the flow there. Or, oh, I'm not really going with the flow there. Or, oh, I'm beating myself up there. Just see. Bring the unconscious to conscious. That's all we're really doing here. It's bringing the unconscious to conscious. Something that's not aware of itself can't be in existence. Some hornet fly above my left head without any... I feel like maybe that sentence wasn't written the way you were trying to say it. Is it a sign? You're pretty flowing recently, Jor. Beautiful. This is funny. This is coming up last week. The things that are happening in our life that have meaning, we're going to know. So if you feel that there is a bug near you, an animal near you, or something occurring near you, and it is a spirit message, then it's a spirit message. It's more so about not what I'm reading into what it means, but what you're reading into what it means. Because what they're showing me is, remember, we create the meaning. We create the meaning. That's why we have things like, when some of you have, I'm sure, heard of things like this, where there's an event, there's 100 people observing the event, and those 100 people all have completely different experiences of the event. Why? Each of them is going to come with their own set of programming and their own past experience. You're scared of hornets. Okay. So, the things that we fear, all the things that we fear, they're showing me the same thing they always show me, the whying. We got to why it out. And we have to keep whying it out until we get to something that feels true. So if you have this visceral, fear of sharks or bees or whatever, you might even get a why, like, oh, I lived a past life and this was my demise. You could get an answer like that. And if it feels true to you, then it's true to you. This is never about getting to the right answer. It's getting to the answer that feels soulfully true. You'll know when your ego is trying to lie to you. You'll know when it's trying to keep you out of a nook, a pocket of yourself, of your psyche, of your subconscious. You'll know when your ego is starting to go, I'm afraid of that. I'm not going to go there. But I'm telling you right now, all those things that we resist, all those things that we feel are if we can just soften around it, understand it, it will be something that affects us in a way that strengthens us and doesn't disempower us. We can call our power back in any moment. Okay. So let me see. They want me to get the Sophia code. For the group here, I just want to see kind of what we're resonating at. Has anyone here read the Sophia code by Kyra? Do I have any Sophia coders here? Yeah, and Simone and Trevor and a lot of the things that have been coming up in the conversation, the things that you were kind of getting at are things I could get at with you in a one-to-one, but in a collective reading, we're going to subconscious levels. We're going to have to do some work, some soul work to really get to it. Because also remember that we're in a group of people, and I'm some of the things I would need to say to you to help you, I can't say in a format like this. Last year, cool. The Sophia code. We've talked about, this is another transmission, but we've talked about words. How words have like collective baggage. If you feel like you have collective baggage around the word God, I think it's time that you pick up a copy of this book. If you have collective baggage that stemmed from maybe religious programming, it's time to get a copy of this book. If you feel out of touch with your feminine energies, whether you're a man, a woman, or anything that you label yourself, it's time to pick up a copy of the Sophia Code. What this will do for you is reprogram you back to your source consciousness. I didn't write the book. Kyra was the channel for this book. And I can tell you everything in here is very divine. Getting kicked out. Kyra was the channel for this book. And I can tell you everything in here is very divine. Getting kicked out. Sorry, fam. I got kicked out. But I am back. So let's just ask Spirit about the Sophia Code, what we should read right now. Because I'm just going to do like a little tiny reading of it. It kicks me out at an hour. I don't exactly know why, but I tried whying it out. Didn't work for that. Okay. Mother Mary. Okay. Didn't I say in the beginning, Mother Mary and Green Tara? They back. So I opened right up to, this is page 163, and it's Mother Mary is a mentor for fulfilling your prophecy. And Mother Mary is key code 4. As a mentor for fulfilling prophecy, I guide your awareness to access every opportunity and resource that is available for you to live out your destiny as an important way shower for your generation. I am here to support your courageous mission to speak the new prophecies of ancient wisdom, which will initiate this next golden age of miracles. So, let's see here. I'm going to have them guide me to what part of this to read. What this helped me with in so many ways was this book. I appreciate my Christian background, but I always felt in the church that women were left out of the equation. I never felt as though I was being taught about, I mean, yes, Mother Mary is in there, but she's not even in there. This really helped me heal a lot of my really faulty programming that told me that men were, this is what I'll share. I'm starting to have clarity on it now. Some of my old shaping told me that women were only here to serve men. And I felt that I know that what I was being taught was through the filter of the people that were teaching it to me. I understand that. And I'm not trashing anything about religion. I'm not at all. I'm just simply sharing from my personal experience, my personal perspective, that I felt very slighted as a woman in churches. And this helped me in so many ways. I really want to be clear about the fact that I love Jesus, Yeshua. I do. I simply don't agree with all of the teachings of his teachings. I feel that a lot of his teachings and what he stood for was removed. That's what I'm saying. I think it was removed. And I think it was removed because it was empowering. The things that I believe were removed, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I feel I must. The things that were removed from the Bible were the things that empowered us. And it was done by beings that wanted to control us. And if we had too much power, they couldn't control us. I'm talking mostly about the Roman Empire right now. But anything after 1530 is complete trash because of the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, I mean, that resonates. Okay. Oh, here we go. I have this bookmark. This is from Luke. Who here? Joshua? Luke sent me this beautiful card with this necklace. He's so great. I wish he was here right now. I'll have to post this on YouTube so he make sure that he sees it. The one they call Luke is he's just rare gem on this planet. Oh, now we're in the Mary Magdalene transmission. Okay, let me see here. They're sharing they want you to all read this on your own, so let me They want you to all read it on your own. So, if you're resonating with this transmission and you haven't bought this yet, it's time for that to happen. And if Kyra ever comes across this, Kyra, I love you. Thank you so much. You're an incredible being. I love you so much. Okay, let's see. It feels like the transmission might be coming to an end. I don't know. This was a really interesting one. How is everybody feeling right now? Especially in juxtaposition to when you maybe first showed up? Are you feeling any kind of, I don't want to name it for you, but how are you feeling? Do you feel like you've had any shifts? Lighthearted. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Thought Alchemist. Okay. So yeah, that's what I really actually hope to bring a lot, is that we're touching on some heavy topics, and we're using the portal of the heart. Oh, and love from all sides. Dark clouds, okay. So you might have some unconscious being brought to the conscious, but it is a valuable process. But with the lightheartedness, what the spirit guides are reminding me of is that a lot of us conceptualize of the heart as our love processor, but our heart has the ability to process light and dark. So it's important we remember that. If we're dealing with duality, polarity, we've got people contesting us, we've got people challenging us, we still need to stay open in the heart, because the heart is the energy center that will have the capacity to handle it, to deal with it. If we close the heart, and then something like fear or judgment or ridicule or whatever is showing up in our field, if we go here, we will not be able to handle it. All we'll be doing is ping pong game. So we talk about ping pong game a lot. We're going to be in the ping pong game when we've shrunk the heart, expanded the third eye. And then the third eye is telling us, yes, we are going to win this ping pong game. I know more. I'm going to win this ping pong game. And we're inviting the heart with Mother Mary in the field and Mary Magdalene in the field. We're expanding the heart and realizing the wisdom code of, that is not how it's done. That's not how it's done. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to expand my field. I'm going to listen to the heart. Because 3D to 5D too, they're showing me that the 3D patterning, it's keeping us up here. The 3D patterning, it's keeping us up here. Let's see. Did I try? I'm not sure what you're asking if I tried, what I tried. I'm sorry, I'm not following that one. They're showing me too, that's what my energetic field will do for a lot of you, is you have a mirror in front of you that's showing you it's safe to operate from the heart. Not this. This knows. This is. They want me to say that again. I don't even know if it makes sense to me, but I will. They're showing this knows. This is. So this part of us will want to go, what's bad, what's good, what's this, what's that, what's that. The heart is. Is. Planet Rock, I believe so. That's my tune in. They're counterparts. They're partners. Very much. They're on the same level. Same level. They were teaching together. I am familiar with some of the deities. I'm going to get one more card to just close it out, because it feels like we brought like a lot of stuff up and it doesn't feel like it's all landed yet. I'm like seeing a bunch of stuff still up in the air that we need to kind of park. Wow. Okay. Mary Magdalene is probably my favorite in the Sophia Code to channel. I can share. She feels very resonant in my field. She feels like family to me, personally. When I work with like Hathor and Isis, it feels more like I'm learning from them. But when I work with Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin, it feels very much like it's like familiar. It's hard to explain. And I'm definitely not saying that maybe we in some ways have oversoul connections. I don't know. how to explain it. Yeah, and then the thing that I can share around this region, this topic that we're going through, is that the part of Yeshua's journey that I feel we're all tuning into collectively is the missing years from he was out. There was nothing said about him from ages 12 to like 32, and that's because he was traveling the world and learning the ancient way. Yeah, he was a very clear channel of source, very clear channel. Kuan Yin was the first to work with me. I feel her all the time. I love Kuan Yin. I love Kuan Yin. And what I can share about these guides is that they'll never show up and judge you. They're always going to be with you. They're going to be with you in what is. They're going to sit with you when you, his hermit mode. He was all over the place. He was all over the place. India, Tibet. Yeah, I won't share more because a lot of this I know is still very. There's some groups that don't want any of this to come out there. I'll say. Okay. Let's land this bird, guides. 3 and 4. That's the thing, though. He didn't even learn it. He remembered it, which is such a trip to go down, so I won't right now. So what they're showing me that'll be really connected for us to understand right now is that source is all, okay? So source is all. Source is all. Source is all. We all return to source. I'm burping like crazy. Some of your throats are being cleared. Excuse me. See, Yeshua is not in my consciousness right now going, ew, you burped. Yeshua's just is. So we're getting Archangel Lavender. So we're getting, this whole field is now just being permeated in lavender light. Just soft pink and purple and soft lavender light. And I'm seeing everything kind of start to calm and come back to wholeness. Okay. Prepare for soul healing, forgive and release everyone. So whatever it is that you feel needs forgiveness right now, maybe it's yourself. Forgive it. Forgive it. Forgive. Thank you for being here, Mad Father. Everybody check out the Mad Father too, because he's very empowering messages and very divine masculine representing here on the earth plane. So Archangel Michael, stand in your power and be true to yourself. And what I want to remind you about Archangel Michael is that Archangel Michael is going to be, you can always call in Archangel Michael for protection. Yes, of course. That's true. Solid. We're good with it, okay? But Archangel Michael will want to re-entrain you to your own power. If you've been working with Archangel Michael for some time, you will start to understand that he is always with you. You don't even need to call him in, and that you've got this on your own as well. When I tune into Archangel Michael, I feel almost a resonance with Mary Magdalene, and that they are their divine, unique expression and embodiment just as is. They're not going to be doing a dance with you to try and convince you. They're not going to be doing anything that's disempowering or judgmental. When you call these beings into your field, it's going to be, for some of you, it's going to be an overwhelming love. For some of you, when you call them in, part of your ego might go, whoa, that's real love, and I'm scared of real love. Yeah, I'm getting that from a handful of you, at least, in this group. So it's going to be a practice. A practice of allowing real love back into your life. The kind of love that isn't manipulative. The kind of love that loves you in your sadness and in your anger and in your happiness and in your melancholy and in your boringness and in your going slow or in your rest and in your going fast and in your... These divine beings will come into your field and they will teach you unconditionality. Again, you just forgot it. They're going to teach you it too again. And then they're showing me they want me to they want bleh, words. They want me to show you some of my... Good. And drink a lot of water. They want me to show you the handwritten codes that have been coming through the last 3 days. Actually, this was all just yesterday. I couldn't stop. It was like paper after paper after paper. But these are just light codes that you can maybe breathe into your vessel. These are the channeled galactic light codes that I've been bringing in the last few days. The Pleiadians have been with me like wild, like all the time, pretty much, just sitting in my consciousness. I also find myself to just be very Pleiadian in general. I don't know how to explain that. But these codes are just going to help activate some galactic stuff for you. Here's another one. So you don't need to understand it. You don't need to pick out any images in it. It's going to just transmit to you energetically your galactic family remembrance. And then this is actually the Galactic Family Activator. So if you don't want to have your galactic family activated, which I really have no idea why you wouldn't, but of course it's always up to your free will. But if you want to get connected to your galactic family, this is 0 to 12D levels is what it means. I'll try to post images of these too. It's like the whole family tree. Thank you. So this is going to activate your galactic family connections. If you're ready for that, just say yes. I'm going to hold it up and we're going to take 3 deep breaths with it. We also have Archangel Michael in the field, Archangel Lavender in the field, Archangel Zadkiel in the field. We have Saint Germain in the field, Mary Magdalene. We have the Hathors. We have Lao Tzu. We have Mahavatar Babaji. We have Yeshua. We have lots of assistants here. So here we go. So just gently look at this and take 3 very deep body breaths to just activate this galactic family connection. Take a few deep breaths with these codes and the Pleiadian emissaries. Okay. I'm seeing it all click into place. All of you have unified your fields. We have a lot of mind-heart coherence in the field right now, so thank you. They want you all to give yourself a little hug. Just some taps. Might feel silly. It's okay, I'll do it with you. And then they want us to do a little bit of shake out your hands like in a circle. Looks kind of silly, I know. But they're showing me a lot of you open up your heart today. What they're showing me is this visual of some channels that are now opened up in the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the solar plexus. It looks like those are the areas where the outer, what I'll say is the outer field of those chakras, we're starting to get a little tangled, and they've been smoothed and harmonized. All the tangles have been brushed out, and they're showing me like, this is a really weird visual, but they're showing me The best places to tap, honestly, the whole body. But if you're really, the thymus is, the thymus, they want me to teach on the thymus and the higher heart. Okay. So the thymus and the higher heart are pretty much the same. The thymus is the physical representation, the higher heart is the etheric representation of you. So if you're just getting into tapping, they're sharing that's the place that you might want to be doing some tapping to really get that. So what they're showing me is a bunch of birds on a dragon, like cleaning the dragon. And they're showing me, I don't exactly know why, but they're showing me that, so with birds in particular, what birds will often do is they use their beaks to scratch glands on their body that like pump out like oil and nutrients to their feathers. And our bodies operate really similarly when it comes to the pineary. That's so funny. I said pineary because the pine cone. The pituitary and the pineal glands are really similar to the glands that we see on these birds that they're often going in and, reactivating. So when we're reactivating this pineal and pituitary glands, we're allowing the full, some of you are familiar with milk and honey, these divine elixirs that go up and along the spine, your toroidal field, your torus field. Pineary, isn't that great? So what they're showing me is by activating these centers, and we do that here every time we gather, we're activating our energetic centers. We're embracing what is, and we're getting back to the core of our source, our divinity. It's our divinity. Okay. They're dropping a microphone in my consciousness and saying, that's it. Okay. So just let these codes settle. Let yourself intuitively tap. If you don't know where to tap, let your body tell you. Let your energetic field tell you. Also, let your sensation tell you. So as you're tapping, you might feel areas that like, whoa, there's like some tenderness, some soreness. And the more you're gently tapping and sending love, it's like, whoa, it starts to release. And then all of a sudden, you're feeling parts of your body open, parts of your inner flow just begin to let loose. And beautiful. And then too, if we're packing in the physicals, the physical things we can do to connect with spirit, I definitely felt silly in this, but they're showing me that if you're really struggling with finding the joy in life, just smile. Even if it feels kind of fake, because when you're smiling, they're showing me, like, a lot of you know about this, but you're like activating those glands. Just like when your cheeks go up, it's like activating your pineal and pituitary glands. So it feels silly, and you're like, why am I don't have a reason to smile. Nah, nah, nah. But then all of a sudden, these things are happening energetically, physiologically, that actually send joyful chemicals and hormones through your body. All right, so let's just close this down in love, getting everybody grounded. Some of you will want to rub your hands together. I will be back here again on Friday, probably between 9 and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I come every Friday and do a live here. So if you're enjoying this, do give the page a subscribe. And I also have an energy healing membership, a space library. Oh, wow. And I channeled it's called Activation Portal for Space Library. I downloaded it yesterday, and it was like very juicy and wonderful and fantastic. So much so that I can't upload it. All of my computers are like, can't do that. I only have one computer. I have one computer, one phone. Anyway, I love you all. Please be sure to hydrate, and I will an audio version of my book. I don't But the next ones will. I'll be writing that Space Library series the rest of my life. So the rest of them will be all formats. All right, so be sure to hydrate. I'll see some of you very soon. And be well. Namaste.